Well, position one, have we received another payment since then?
Were you talking to me, Your Honor? Sorry.
Yes. On position one.
Yeah. On 3/6/24, we received $190.10 from income deduction.
Okay, so it looks like it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah, appears to be.
Okay, all right. Can you bring in Williams and Andrews, please, position one? Okay, so good morning. This is the first time this case is on the calendar. Mr. Andrews, you're under a court order to pay $408 per month out of Cobb County. You have a past due amount of about $2,900. You may want to check on that to make sure your license is suspended. It looks like you just obtained new employment. We have an income deduction order, and you must have submitted that voluntarily. The money's coming directly out of your paycheck. It looks like there was a payment that came out February 21st, and then we just received another payment of about 190. So it looks like it's coming out every 2 weeks. Is that how you were paid, Mr. Andrews?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're currently employed, so as long as the money's coming out of your paycheck, I can't issue a warrant, and it looks like it is. Looks like the previous payments in July. So have you been unemployed since July? Is that what happened?
Yes, ma'am. What ended up happening? I had a breakdown, a mental breakdown at work, and I had to take some time off, and
Okay.
so I had to go on a leave of absence, and that kind of put me out of work for a while. So actually just started my new job on January the 16th.
Okay,
And
sounds good. And it's coming out of your paycheck. Just remember that even in those times where you may not be working, you're still required to provide support. I think it's let's see, a 3 or 4-year-old now. So just
Yes,
want to make sure you understand that you have to pay the support. If not, she can file the warrant. It's coming out of your paycheck, so that's good. So she's going to start receiving the payment. So it would be dismissed. But did you explain to mom what was going on?
I tried to go into brief detail about it. I actually messaged her on the first day I started my new job, and I was asking for insurance information because I do have a court order to have Ariana on my insurance.
Okay.
And she basically told me, why did I need it? I didn't need it for the last job, so I left it alone.
Okay. So clearly,
Yeah, I left it alone. So
you guys are another couple that don't get along, which is again just awful. But anyway, so so it's coming out of his paycheck now, so I can't issue a warrant. If it drops, Miss Williams, and you need to file again, feel free to file again. But right now, it's coming directly out of his paycheck. So, Mr. Andrews, my only guidance to you is that if you ever go 30 days without a payment, then she could apply again, and you'll be back before the court with a potential warrant. So just do your best to try to put money aside if you lose your job, but just try to stay employed. Call child support. Can we check on his license? Is he okay, Miss?
Yeah, I've already discussed it with him. I sent him a chat.
Oh, okay. Yes, please take care of that too, Mr. Andrews. Okay.
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. You guys have a good day. You're excused from court. The case will be dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Well, Miss Williams is going to remain, right? Doesn't she also?
She has 2 cases? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So in this case, Mr. Lewis, you're under a child support order to pay $264 per month plus a $53 a month amount toward the repay. It looks like on your case, there have absolutely been no payments since July 2023. And of course, that would be a basis to issue a warrant. It looks like every year there's a tax intercept, and it looks like that's how you're paying, by a tax intercept, but that's not the way things are supposed to go. But let's see what's going on. Is that what you're doing? You're just allowing your taxes to be intercepted every year? Mr. Lewis, you can unmute, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't know that was an issue.
Yeah, you have to pay monthly. You have to pay monthly. You have to pay every month. Are you employed?
Currently, right now, I just recently lost my job.
Okay. What industry were you in?
I was in the retail industry.
Okay. And so how are you looking for new employment? How are you going to support yourself?
Right now, I have I have a job coming up this March 18th. We'll be employed then.
Okay, so you have an interview coming up, and so for 3 years, this is what you've been doing since 2021. Just wait for your tax to be intercepted.
Correct.
Okay, and Mom, you've allowed that to happen all these years, and have you not? Or you haven't filed before?
I haven't filed before because I actually just found out about it because I didn't know how to proceed about it. But normally when I follow up with child support and I ask questions, it gets me nowhere. I do speak with Robert and we try to figure out something, but it didn't really go anywhere. So this is actually the first time that I have did the child abandonment.
Okay, so Mr. Lewis, the law requires that you pay your monthly child support, and I'm sure your license is probably suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
And so in order to get your license reinstated, when you get a new job, if you report that new job to them and let child support take the money directly out of your paycheck, it'll reinstate your license. Like right now, there are license readers all over the road and every officer's car is almost, so you're going to be stopped and pulled over if you're driving without a license, and then they're going to impound your car, and it's just money, 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 money. So just be very cautious until you work with DCSS either on a payment to get it reinstated or a new job and you say it's going to come out, but you have to start paying. So let me just, because you're kind of starting over, and 264 is there, I'm going to just make sure you get back on track with your base amount. And let's just say you pay that twice a month. That would be $132 every 2 weeks, like on the 5th and the 20th, or the 15th and the 30th, or the 2nd. You just want to make sure that you pay 2 payments of about $132. I'm not reducing the repay, but I just want you to start getting child support so they can reinstate your license. So you have an interview coming up, you said, and then hopefully you'll get that interview, and then have your taxes been intercepted already?
No, ma'am, I have not filed yet.
Okay. All right. So what was your question?
No, I was telling you I actually have the job is due on the 18th. I actually will be starting working on the 18th.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, when you get paid your first paycheck, you have to take out $132 and you have to pay it directly to child support. If you have a credit card, you can do it and pay yourself back. But I know it's easy for me to say if you have a credit card, but the 132, if you pay that, and you just have to pay it every 2 weeks, your actual amount, the full amount to pay once you become employed and fully employed, your actual amount that you should be paying is $317. Divide that by 2. Hold on one second. 317 divided by 2. That's $158. I would say $159. $159 is the goal, to pay $159 every 2 weeks. But right now, if you could just try to pay $135 every 2 weeks, then I won't have to issue a warrant for your arrest. But you need to get that going quickly, and you need to check out your child support payment. Since you have a new job, they'll reinstate it. But until it comes out of your paycheck, you have to voluntarily pay the $135 or the $159 if you can afford it. Right now, I just want to get you back on track of being consistent with paying every month.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we clear on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me just put here so I can make my notes. Give me one moment. Let's see. Dad has a new job. We'll need to put you in a breakout room with Miss Carson so she could get your employment information. So we could go ahead and apply for an income deduction order, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
IDO pending. Dad shall pay $135 every 2 weeks, every pay period, and shall contact DCSS. Let's see, every pay period. Dad shall contact DSS for license reinstatement. All right, and then we're going to reset the case. So what I'm saying is, if the money's coming directly out of your paycheck, then I dismiss the application for the criminal warrant. But because it's going to take almost 2 months to come out, you have to pay directly. And that's what I'm going to be looking at. Dad starts March 18th. Let's see. So that means at least by the end of March, I should see a payment. And then when we come back to court, I should see 2 payments in April. And because we're going to reset the case and see you guys in May. And that's what I'm looking for, Mr. Lewis. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Avoid warrants being issued after you get paid on the 18th. Go ahead and post your first payment. I'm going to guide you at $135, and then your next pay period, you take it out automatically and you pay it. And I'm sure you know how to pay child support, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Online. Okay. All right. We'll reset your case so we could get a status of how things are going. And my resets are generally at the end of the month. So I will see you guys on May 24th, and I'm hoping that the income deduction order is in place and you've been making your payments. If you haven't, Mr. Lewis, then I'd have to determine whether or not I'm going to issue a warrant because you have the employment and there's no reason you shouldn't be able to pay. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Any questions?
Oh, my
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Okay.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right. Good morning to both of you. Okay. So we're here on your case. I'm going to go ahead and handle it. It looks like you guys may be involved in juvenile court. I don't, because we're streaming live on YouTube and people watch this case nationally. I don't want to expose anything that's going on there unless we absolutely have to. So please, let's not get into that situation, but nevertheless, we may have to touch upon it. Just make sure it's done in a proper legal presentation. Okay. So in this case, Mr. Slaughter, you're under child support order to pay $563 per month plus $50 a repay. Looks like you're past due about $9,700. Your payments, we look at the last 3 payments and the payments reflect that you pretty much have not made a payment. since November 2023. So let me just make sure, Mom, you can unmute for me. Do you live in DeKalb County, and do you currently have custody of the minor children?
Yes.
Okay, you live in DeKalb and you have custody. Okay, I'm gonna talk to Dad more so I can figure out what's going on. Okay, give me 1 moment.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Slaughter, if you could share with me what's going on with regard to you not paying child support since November.
Since November, I'm sorry, say that again. My phone went out.
There's no child support being paid according to our records since November 2023.
Yes, work has currently been slow for me, and when our case originally started, the day after I lost my job, so I was not making the same pay that I originally was started out to be able to pay 563. And work has been somewhat inconsistent for me since then. But I have made offers to the mother to try to come with arrangements to try to make payments to her outside of the order, or to see if we can conceal it or make anything work so I can continue seeing my daughter.
Okay, and are you paid? Are you working right now at all, even part-time?
Yes, ma'am, I'm working now.
Yeah, so things do change when people have a good job and then they lose that job. So what happens is, if I'm going to give you the amount that you're supposed to pay, and if you receive a W-2 from this employer, or do they deduct taxes from your paycheck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's going to happen is we need to get an income deduction order in place. I'm not sure the status of your driver's license, Ms. Carson. Do we know the status of the driver's license?
You asking me?
Hold on, no. I'm asking Ms. Carson.
There wasn't any information on his driver's license. I don't know if he doesn't have a Georgia one or doesn't have one, but there's nothing in our system.
Okay, so Mr. Slaughter, well, the people lose their jobs and they get lesser income, and then that kind of makes the father or the paying parent kind of financially struggle the whole time trying to pay what they're not able to pay. So my understanding is, but unfortunately, as a judge, I can't reduce your child support, but I just can make sure that you substantially comply with what you're supposed to pay. So hypothetically, you have an order. Do you have other children?
Yes, ma'am. I have a 4-year-old son.
Are you paying child support on that case as well?
No, ma'am, but I do send him money.
Okay. All right. So I just like to kind of share with dads, that have here, you have two, just, think about kind of focusing on these two children because it just gets higher and higher. And honestly, in my history of being a judge in this court, things go well when the mom and the dad get along, but once the parties don't get along anymore or break up, and then, in other words, the other mother, she may be okay with you just giving her money here and there. You guys may have a good relationship, but if everything goes sour, she's going to bring you to child support as well. And then you're always running the chance of having to go in and out of custody for not paying child support. So my guide to you is just be very cautious of making sure you can take care of these children, which unfortunately I don't mean to say right now. I'm not saying you don't love them, but you're not financially in a good place to support this child support order, but I can't reduce it. But what we'll do is submit an income deduction order to your employer, and whatever they take out, the maximum amount that they take out based on reasonable pay will be acceptable by the court for me not to issue a warrant. But in this case, I always try to encourage dads to pay. Do you get paid weekly or twice for every other week?
Every other week.
All right. So how much difference is your income kind of in the tens of and thousands when you got your child support order to what you're paying now?
When I got my child support order, I was on salary for $43,000 a year, which is roughly like 21 to 22 an hour. But now my current job, I'm making $15 to $16 an hour. So it's like a $4 or $5, it's subtracted down some. It's not the
Okay.
same.
Well, unfortunately, I cannot reduce that child support order. I don't have the authority to do that. You'd have to go back to child support or file a petition to reduce your child support. I don't know when the order was issued, but you do have to get on track and making the payments. So technically, I'm supposed to tell you that your child support is $563 divided by 2, which means you're supposed to be paying $281.50 every 2 weeks.
I'm sorry. I put in a reduction request to the child support office, but they never got back to me. And I put in a request once I went back to court in my current case. And the judge said I just had to pertain to the most recent order that he put in place until we go back to court, and then he'll make a final decision. So that's what I've been waiting on.
His order isn't old enough for it to go through the child support office. It says 22 FM 4820. I was going to look it up and see what that was.
Okay, so usually I think it's a 2 or 3 year wait.
3 years.
Yes, ma'am. The judge told me it was 3 years, but no, not the judge. I'm sorry. The guardian ad litem told me it was 3 years, but the judge is he's the only one able to make the change, right? In the final decision or say
That's
so.
right. That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
that's what I was told.
So all I look at is substantial compliance. So let's just say you're making, 10,000 less, and you're not able to make that full payment. I'm ordering you to still pay to the best of your ability while every 2 weeks, while you are, while we're waiting for your modification and or until it comes out of your paycheck. So again,
It's a
what
temporary.
happens?
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
I'm sorry.
temporary.
It's a temporary order, right? So it can be adjusted by the time it's finished, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, be diligent in following through with child support to see if you can get on a court date to get it adjusted to an income if you're not able to pay it. But I have to still order you to pay. And like I said, that amount is what you're supposed to pay every 2 weeks. I'm not sure. So that would be $281.50. I look for substantial compliance and the ability to pay. Are you working full time right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have the ability to look for a second job or get a full-time job?
I have been looking, but it's not happening right now.
Okay. Which county do you live?
I live in Clayton County right now.
Okay, Clayton. I don't have any resources in Clayton. Well, we need you to, have you ever been in the fatherhood program?
No, ma'am.
Somebody seems to be recording the proceeding or listening to it on YouTube. If you are, if you could stop, please, because it seems like it's interfering. Why don't we send you to the fatherhood program? That way they can give you some skills. The fatherhood program has really nothing with you being a good father. They just have a lot of programs for dads to help dads get connected and get employment for full-time employment. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and I'm going to get Ms. Carson's going to submit the information. Listen, the one available resource that will allow me not to issue a warrant for your arrest, even if you're not paying the full amount, is if you're in the fatherhood program. So when you receive the email from the fatherhood program, register for it. It's online, and you have to go to the meeting. And they're going to. It takes sometimes 3 months or so to get a really good job, but they really help. But if I come back to court and I don't see, substantial payments, 200 at least, or I would say try to start at $200 every 2 weeks. Again, I'm not reducing it legally. I'm just ordering you to try to pay something until the money comes directly out of your paycheck, and enroll in the fatherhood program because they'll give you some good resources to get a full-time job so you can get closer to paying what you're supposed to be paying for child support. So
yeah, I'm
yes.
sorry.
Okay.
This was filed because I haven't made a payment within the 30 days of November 30th, or is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I made a payment the 13th of November 2023. I'm not sure if that matters in this because it was before 30 days.
Yeah, we have that. That's what I'm saying. You haven't paid since November. So we're in March now. So you didn't pay December, January, February, and March. So that's what I look at. Where have you been paying? So mom's had to sustain financially your child for all this time, and she hasn't received any support. So we have to get you back on track, or the consequences of me issuing a warrant, then you're on probation. So my guidance to you is, let me put this in my docket notes. Hold on one second. Dad shall put forth effort. When do you get your next paycheck?
I believe next Friday.
Okay. Dad shall put effort to pay at least, I'm going to start you with at least $200 per pay period, comma, shall contact fatherhood program. Hold on one second. Program and until IDO takes place.
I made a payment before. I have another payment, another receipt for payment after November. I'm sorry.
Okay. When was that payment and how much?
I'm trying to open my app right now as we speak.
Yeah, I still can't dismiss it because you've just gone 5 months with maybe one payment. So
Yes,
I have to have consistent payments for 6 months before I can dismiss the criminal case. But if you get an income deduction order with your employer, then I will dismiss it. I'm going to put you in a breakout room. Let me see if mom has any questions. Put you in a breakout room with Ms. Carson. We're going to get your employer's information because I didn't want you to air that because we're streaming live. We're going to put you in a breakout room, but give me one moment. We're going to get all your We're going to get your information, and then we're going to apply for an income deduction order. But a reminder, you have to pay it until you see it comes out of your paycheck. Yes, what's your final question? Go ahead.
What if I'm not able to make the 200 payment every 2 weeks?
You pay as much as you can toward the 200.
Okay, I thought that's what I did with the 563. If I'm not able to make the full amount, I pay as much as I can.
Yes,
even if it's not 200.
Well, it's as much as you can. So I'm just giving you a guide of 200.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I've been doing since the month of November. I've been paying what I can
To whom have you been making payments? We're not receiving anything in
to the child support office. So, okay, wait 1 second.
I'm going to let you go to breakout room. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Ms. Watkins, do you have any questions? You can unmute questions.
Well, I was saying that it was to my understanding from my previous attorney that the payment of $563 was due at the beginning of the month, that he did not have the whole month to pay it. From the beginning of the court order with the child support payment, I've never received a full payment of $563, let alone half. You know, I do understand that things happen like we've established, and that, you know,
Well,
job
hold on, Ms.
situations.
Watkins, hold on. I don't want you to. So I've already addressed all that. I know he's supposed to be paying it once a month, but if he can't, I'm going to break it down and let him pay it and give him a guide to make sure he pays it per pay period to be able to have it. If
Right.
this is a criminal proceeding, it's different from a civil proceeding. You could go
Okay.
back to the civil court and say, oh, you know, I have this past due, he's not paying, but I mean, we can't make him pay a whole amount at 1 month at the beginning of the month if he doesn't have it. So my responsibility as a judge is to try to see how we can get the payments at least consistent so that it's reasonable, so that you can receive the child support to the best of what the law allows. Of course, I can't reduce it. It's just going to keep adding up on the past due amount. That's not good for him. His license gets suspended. So he said he's working. So we'll just start the process and then we'll see how it goes. But I would rather take 2 payments than he just doesn't have the ability right now to make 1 payment that's due in the beginning of the month. So I always give dads the guidance to break it down so they can be able to afford the payments and pay them too. Okay. All right. All right. So we will give us 1 moment. Ms. Carson, Mr. Slaughter, we're going to put you in a breakout room so we can get your income information, Mr. Slaughter. But remember, on your next paycheck, you need to make that payment directly to child support. And then we'll see you guys back when we come to court to look at the status. My goal is for you to start making payments or get an income deduction order. If not, then I'd have to issue a warrant. That's not my preference as a judge. I don't see that benefits anybody to be, you know, in jail or arrested and have this criminal case over their head. So just understand, Mr. Slaughter, I do need you to do everything you can to step up to make the payment. So the case is going to be reset to May 24th, but we'll be in brief recess while Ms. Carson meets with Mr. Slaughter in a breakout room to discuss his payments. So Ms. Watkins, you can go on video for just a moment and we'll see you guys in just a moment. We're going to put you, Ms. Carson and Mr. Slaughter in a breakout room. All right, so I'm a little bit confused on this case. Let me double check here. Sorry, I'm navigating between screens. This shows there's an order for dad to pay $246 per month with the past due amount of $1,476. So this must be a new order. So dad, you're just supposed to be paying $246. And mom, you live in DeKalb County with your minor child. You can unmute and answer for me, please.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can mute. And Mr. Faison, we're just showing that no payments have been made at all on your child support order. So are you currently employed, Mr. Faison? And just discuss, did you know you had an order to pay child support? Because it's not that far past due and you want to go ahead and get caught up on it before your license is suspended.
Yes, I can start making payments. I just have a couple job interviews coming up.
Okay, so you haven't been working since the child support order was entered?
No, ma'am, I got laid off about a month later.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so just generally, how are you financially supporting yourself during the time if you don't have any or have reduced income?
I do like security part-time.
Okay. And so are you doing that now?
Yes. Whenever anything's available, I'm like kind of like a floater. I go wherever they need people at. It's not
Okay.
like a set schedule or nothing.
Well, can you ask them for more hours? Or I mean, all you have to do is pay $123 every 2 weeks, and then you're complying with the child support. So I'm not sure, you know, do you have the ability to do that on your next paycheck? Because that's all I need you to do is start paying $123 per pay period if you get paid twice a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you don't see any problem with that. When do you get paid next?
Yeah, I could pay immediately.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Well, that's what we need you to stay on track so I could avoid issuing a warrant. Hold on 1 second. 3/8/24. And how long have you been working with your employer, Mr. Faison?
For about like the whole last year, since the beginning of 2023.
So why haven't you just been paying your child support?
I told you, as far as the hours and stuff is different. Like I might go weeks without a job or whatever.
So, not to insult you, but can you get a part-time job to supplement
Yeah,
that one?
yeah.
Okay, well, please do. You know, it doesn't matter as long as you're paying it consistently at 123 every 2 weeks. I just want to make sure, Ms. Carson, any notes on his driver's license?
We didn't have any information, no.
Oh, okay. All right. So your license is not suspended, Mr. Faison. You don't want that past due amount to keep going. So we need your employer's information so we could take the money directly from your paycheck, and then that automatically dismisses the case. But until you see it coming out 123 every 2 weeks, you have to voluntarily pay it per pay period. Well, if I'm assuming you get 2 pay periods. How many pay periods a month do you have? 2?
Yes, 2.
Okay. So you have to pay whatever way, $123 twice a month, 5th and 20th. You know, it could be the 1st and the 15th. It doesn't matter. You have to pay 2 payments within every month, and then I'll track the case. And if everything's on board, then the case will be dismissed because you should have been paying, you know, voluntarily. So it's 123. Today's the 8th. And when do you get paid? You said, when do you get paid again?
About 2 weeks from now.
Okay. So that means you got paid today?
No, ma'am. I didn't work yet this month.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, you definitely need to get your part-time job so you could, you know, take care of yourself and your child support. So we'll go ahead and get your employment information. Ms. Carson, Ms. Starks, if we could put Ms. Carson and Mr. Faison in a breakout room. And then you guys will come back to court so I can finish up your case. Ms. Lawrence will be in a brief recess. Carson, were you able to get the information?
No, because it didn't sound to me like he had the kind of a job that we could do anything with, and it isn't. It's just different people, different contractors will call him up and just say, can you be at such and such a lounge or whatever and do security? He'll get paid cash, or somebody will write him a check that night and he'll go and cash it at the bank. So it's not the kind of job we can get anything from. But I confirmed the information.
Okay, Mr. Faison, for child support purposes, that's not going to work unless you're consistently employed. So, okay, you can unmute for me, please. If it's just like I can get a job here and there, if you make good enough money and you can pay your child support, I don't care what you do. But if not, we can give you resources to the fatherhood program to get a full-time job. So,
and she told me, I just told her, I'll just find a full-time job.
Okay,
I don't have no problem finding a job.
Okay, sounds good. Well, 123 is what we're expecting going forward. I'm not looking back, but as long as we get the 123 every other week and you're paying your total child support, or you could pay it once if you want, 246, but it has to be paid every month at the same time. So let's just say you choose the 15th, you have to make sure the 15th of every month you pay the full 246, but I encourage dads to divide it in 2. So you're never going past due child support. Mom is still getting her full amount, even though it's broken into 2 payments. So mom wants to ask a question. So I know you had a little bit of a mix up with something in Gwinnett County. I just want to make sure you understand it. You don't want to be, okay, somebody has the YouTube channel on because I can hear myself. Miss Lawrence, I'll hear from you, please.
Because I was going to say, he just said that he'll pay immediately. I just wanted to know, what does immediately mean? Because when the order was finalized in September, when we both got the papers, he literally told me out of his own mouth he's not paying anything.
Okay, give me a moment. All right, so Mr. Faison, you may have been upset and said you weren't paying anything, and clearly you're not paying anything. So let's not go there, okay? Let's just go ahead and start your payments. If I need to issue a warrant, then I'll be issuing a warrant, and you'll be on probation till your child is 18. Who wants that? So let's not do that. And we'll see you. Look, you said you're going to make 1 payment immediately. That'd be awesome if you can. That stops me from issuing a warrant. And then I expect to see 2 payments a month, or 1 payment. You can pay 246 one time, or you could pay 132 every 2 weeks. Okay, that's what I'm expecting.
Yes,
okay, good. I think you understand. My choices are slim: warrant, or I'm seeing payments. So we'll see you guys on May 24th. That's my reset date. And at that point, I should either see the consistent payments, and I may reset it one time to make sure you're paying straight for 6 months straight, or until, if you get a full-time employment, make sure you call DCSS, give them your information, and they'll apply to take the money directly out of your paycheck. Did you have another question, Mr. Faison?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, okay. We'll see you guys when we come to court, and there's no warrant being issued today. Case will be reset to May, and I expect you to make your monthly payments until we come back to court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You said you're going to make an immediate payment. Do you know when you're going to be able to make that payment?
I'm not gonna pay before next time we see each other.
No, you told me you're going to make an immediate payment. That means we're in the month of March. So you have to make a payment for March anyway. So when are you going to make your payment for March?
About 2 weeks.
Okay, so you make your either full payment or 2 payments in March, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. We'll see you guys then. We'll see what happens after that. Okay, guys. You guys have a good day. Your case is reset to May 24th. Let's see, you have
Thank you.
Jeremiah is probably 11 or 12. You're under a child support order to receive position. This is Mrs. Whitehead. You're supposed to be receiving $246 per month. It looks like you've been receiving child support. We're not sure. We're looking into how, but you
It
received.
looks like it might be interstate.
Okay, so does the dad live out of state? You can unmute Ms. Whitehead.
You said, does he live out of state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. From what I know, he lives here with his mother.
Okay, because it looks like we're receiving the child support through an out-of-state order, not an out-of-state order, I'm sorry, an out-of-state job interception. So you're receiving the payments, you received the full payment, well, not full, but you received a substantial compliance with the payment in December, January, and there was a deduction in February. So I'm not able to issue a warrant because the payments are coming directly out of his paycheck to you.
But I was told from an attorney that I've spoken to that it still has to be full compliance for it to be within the.
No, not for a criminal proceeding. As long as he's substantially complying, then I cannot and will not issue a warrant for his arrest because he's not committing a crime because he's making payments. The first, your child support's $246, $227 is what you received. Then you received $283. It was short in February. I'll put it on one more time to look, but I can't issue a warrant for as long as he's substantially complying, and it's coming out automatically by some agency, so I cannot issue a warrant for his arrest. Somehow, it's coming out.
I'm not looking for a warrant. I'm just looking for help because when I spoke to child support directly, they had no updates for me as to why they are still allowing this person to be in this much arrears.
Okay, well, that's a civil issue. That doesn't make it a crime because of the arrears. They could file a contempt against him, and you can ask the child support agent to tell them you'd like to file a contempt. But for criminal purposes, it's two different proceedings. He is paying monthly. There's some type of interception that's automatically paying. So I'm not at liberty to issue a warrant. So what I'm going to do is just reset the case in May to try to get an updated status, see if the payments are still coming in. And then for the arrearage, you'll actually have to check with, and we don't have a phone number. Do you have a phone number for Dad?
Yes, I put it on my application.
Okay, because they're saying that, oh, maybe it was him saying he had the wrong number. So, Dad has
going on.
Okay. And if he's out of state, we can't do anything in this, but it looks like it's already coming out. So we're good. Dad has an interception of child support, not full amount. But he is paying, reviewed. So you have to contact child support and tell them you want to file a contempt on the past due amount. That's not something I can address in a criminal court. I can only look at monthly payments. I know that doesn't make sense, but that's kind of what I'm deciding whether or not to issue a warrant for his arrest. In the past, you just filed the action with us. So our process is, to review the case, make sure he's paying. And if there's not a compliance over 6 months, then I could issue a warrant for his arrest.
Does it have to be consecutive?
Does it have to be what?
Does it have to be consecutive?
I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? Yes, he has to make payments every month and it's already coming out of his paycheck. So I can't issue a warrant when it's already coming. Yes.
But it's supposed to be the whole thing.
I'm
not sure how that works either.
Yeah, I can't issue because maybe with the type of income that he has, he doesn't make enough money to pay taxes and child support. So whatever they're taking out legally, that's all that I can't issue a criminal warrant, but you could handle it on a civil case by filing a contempt and seeing what's going on. But it looks like he's out of state. So we'll just review the case and see how things are going. I understand your frustration, but it's a different proceeding. So you can contact child support and advise them that you'd like to file a contempt against him. And a judge will decide if he has the ability to pay more and is just refusing, and they could issue a warrant for his arrest if he doesn't pay.
The case may need to be transferred to the UIFSA division.
Yeah, sounds like that. So it looks like he's out of state, ma'am. And if he is, everything can't be handled through our court. It has to go through the district attorney's office. So if you could call the child support office, ask them if it looks like father is living out of state. And if he is living out of state, then you have to go to the district attorney's office to handle your case because it's two different states. So it looks like he's out of state. And I have to have that he has notice of this hearing. And because I don't have proof that he received notice of the hearing, I have to make sure because it looks like you used his mother's address. So
that's where he lives. So he basically knows the process and he's avoiding being served. He's avoiding being given any type of notice. He's going to pretend that he doesn't know. When I spoke with whoever is responsible to call us to make sure that we're going to be present, the only thing I had to ask her was it a male's voice?
I've been doing this for years. I understand it was his voice.
Right. And so I also have messages showing where his income is coming from. And that's a part of the frustration that I wasn't going to talk about because I wasn't able to upload it, even though I emailed it to District Stark. I don't know how to say their name, Deputy Stark. Email. I've sent it to the magistrate.
Hold on, Ms. Whitehead. Sending all that to us does not help. You have to send it to child support. If you have proof that he has additional income, you have to send that to the Department of Family Services. I don't know what DCCS stands for anymore. We change it every few years. But if you have additional documentation showing that he's employed, they could submit an income deduction order to his employer.
It's not through an employer.
Okay, so how is he receiving the additional income? Please don't tell me on national TV that he's a drug dealer.
I see. I can just read it to you, and then I can't say anything but what it says. And
read what?
What I tried to upload and download to get it added to today's case, because I feel like it's important to show that even though it's only a partial amount coming, it's still intentionally being withheld. I don't care if it's $5. I don't care if it's $10. That's $10 that's coming out of mine, though.
Okay, so what you have to do is call child support, tell them you want to submit that information because evidently he's working out of state, and then they will handle it through the district attorney's office because it's different if he's out of state. If he doesn't live in, you're saying he lives here, but we're showing that the income is coming from an out-of-state employer. So you have to call the district attorney's office, ask to speak to the representative for what's called UIFSA, UIFSA, and I'll let you go into a breakout room with Ms. Carson, or you can send it to me in the chat, but I'm not going to let you state something, that's Zoomy on YouTube on our DeKalb County, if it's something that may malign him because he's already employed, and I don't want to do anything that's going to.
I mean, it was sent to a 12-year-old girl, so I think if she can see it, they can. Okay, but I'm going to respect what you said.
Your daughter's 12?
Yes, and he said it to her phone.
Okay, Ms. Carson. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to let Ms. Carson look at that in a breakout room, so that if it's appropriate, she'll let me know if it's something that I should take as an attorney. She's an officer of the court. I just don't want to present information that may not be appropriate because we are streaming live. All right, we're going to put you in a breakout room in just one moment, okay?
Okay, thank you. And it should show, I'm not sure, but it's coming directly from the number that's on my application. So it is the accurate number. And that is where my first exhibit is from. It's from that number talking with my daughter.
Okay, and you said that you submitted a proof of that to our court?
Yes, and it says proof of hidden income. That's what the subject says.
Okay, Ms. Starks will check on that. Give us one moment. Ms. Starks, can you see if you received any information from her that I can that you can forward to me?
And I sent an email to the attorney in Fulton County to ask her to follow up to see if this case belongs in UIFSA.
Okay.
Judge, I did see where she tried to send something through today, but it didn't come through.
All right, Ms. Carson, if you can kind of look at what that could be. We're going to go ahead and put Ms. Carson and Ms. Whitehead in a breakout room just for a moment. And then we'll see you guys back in court.
Excuse me, Judge. I was supposed to be speaking with the deputy. I pressed join, and then it made me come out of the meeting.
It was on mute. I didn't realize it. I was asking, do you have a copy of the order that he's supposed to be paying for, the one that says he's paying $246 a month? Did you get that? Okay, you're on mute now.
No, I don't have a copy.
Okay, well, I've got it right here, and I can email you the copy.
Yes, please.
Okay.
But I didn't hear anything else that you said outside of the last 5 seconds.
Okay, I just said that I was asking if you had a copy of this order, that I found it. So I will, now let me make sure that we have your correct email address.
Well, I have to go on to the next case. The only thing I'm going to do is reset the case. Ms. Carson, if I I don't know if it looks like that is an interstate payment, then it would have to go, Ms. Whitehead, through the interstate procedures of the district attorney's office, not our office.
Do you have a number for that office? I've just been getting the
I told her
run.
I don't. I told her I'd have to look it up just like she would.
So you can call the district attorney's office, and then ask them for the UIF. If we could put in UIFSA for her, so she at least understands it. It's an international, I'll let you give the abbreviation for
Okay. I send it to her and she's confirmed email, so I'll send her a copy of that order.
and the UIFSA, that deals with interstate orders, and they can pursue something if he's not paying what he's supposed to. But I'll reset it just to get an update status, see what we're able to find out. But at this point, I can't issue a warrant. And so we'll reset the case to May and see what can happen in the meantime. Like I said, you can file contempt, Ms. Whitehead. That's not going to happen quickly. And I do understand your frustration, but there's no crime. I'm not finding that there's a crime being committed because one of the 3 payments that he's made is insufficient, but the other 2 kind of balance out. So we'll reset the case to May, and then we'll look at what's going on and see if you've been able to get in touch with UIFSA, because that agent through the district attorney's office is the proper agency to handle this case.
Can I say one last thing?
Sure.
I'm not trying to prejudge my daughter's other parent, but it's just a pattern that I see. So basically what he does is every year, this is why the arrears is like this, because every year after he's been paying for a little bit, he start playing with how much he's paying because he already understands the law. You see what I'm saying? So he already knows, like, if you go through child support, I have complained. I talked to the IRS. They said they already have different things. He's not even filing his taxes to try to avoid from this even being settled.
Okay, and that's why you have to handle that with the Superior Court judge by filing a contempt. Let that judge hear all that information, and they will make a decision if he's in violation of the order, issue a contempt order him to pay a full amount. If he doesn't pay the amount that the court directs him to pay, then at that point they could issue a warrant and he will remain in jail until that whole amount is paid. But I can't do that in this type of proceeding. This is a criminal proceeding, and you do have rights, but you have to go back. I know you can't afford to hire an attorney, but Attorney Carson is making notes. She's reached out to, your case is in Fulton. It's not even a DeKalb case. So you've got to contact the Fulton County. I believe this is Fulton. Am I right? Or
Yes.
Yes, this is a Fulton case where he had the child support entered. So you can contact them. They're going to handle all your concerns on a civil matter. We only handle whether or not he's making payments in a criminal court. So contact them, see what they're saying, tell them that you want to have a contempt proceeding, but all that goes through Fulton, not DeKalb, because he is, at that time the order was entered, it's a Fulton County order, and a Superior Court judge in Fulton County has to handle all the things that you're concerned about.
The UFSA?
It's UIFSA, and I sent you a chat with those letters so you can have that straight.
Okay, I just wanted to get the last perspective on this particular case. I do not want him arrested. I just want the thing that I seen, that you guys work with them to make sure that it's 6 months of consecutive. I forgot the word to use, like, do what you can to help. That's all I'm seeking, because I tried to go through child support and that's not working.
Okay, well, I will do what I am permitted to do within the limits of the confines of what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to reset the case. I have here that there is an interception. We'll see you May 24th, and we'll see what the updated status is on the case by then. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a good day. You're excused. Right. In this case, there was an application filed by Ms. Parks. Ms. Parks, do you live in DeKalb County with your minor child or children? Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And again, just your.
Okay. I'm sorry, my computer died, so I'm trying to adjust it, but it was giving a lot of my body when I put the phone down here.
Yeah, try to adjust it to where it's just your face. Okay. You're going to have to hold it up to where you're getting just the shoulders up.
Okay.
Thank you. That's perfect. All right. So, Mr. Parks, if you could please not chew your gum while we're in court, I appreciate it. All right. So I know you guys have been waiting. This order, I'm going to mute Mom and mute Dad for a moment. This order states Dad's supposed to be paying $14.86 per month. Dad had a job in November and they took out $456. November, $495 was paid by Dad voluntarily. And then in December, Dad paid another $500. So it looks like Dad's paying $500 per month. I think I've been with you guys before. Give me one moment, please. Ms. Starks, can you look up the previous case number and send it to me, please? All right, while we're waiting for that case, Mr. Parks, you can unmute, please.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. So it looks like your child support, of course, is almost $1,500 and you've been paying $500 a month consistently. I don't remember what the case was. Is you paid $500 in November, $500 in December. You didn't make a payment in January, but you did make a $500 payment in February. So tell me what's going on, Mr. Parks, since you're supposed to be paying. I'm going to look at the last case. I presume that you had a order when you had an excellent job and you're not in that type of employment anymore. And so you've been paying, but you did miss 1 month, which is January. So tell me what's going on with you, Mr. Parks.
I basically prior to the last payments you read off, my check, like the income deduction order was taking money out of my check.
Income deduction order for what?
Child support.
For this case?
Yeah, it was getting taken out of my check when I was at Emory St. Joe's and when I was at Piedmont Urgent Care.
Okay, but it stopped coming out in November.
Yeah, I informed them of my job change. So I went back to my old job, the one that you were speaking about, as far as like the good job job that I had prior to all this. So I went back there, and I informed them. I don't know if the income deduction order came or whatever, but that's how I missed January. So I picked back up in February. I paid 2 weeks ago. I paid let's say like $550, $545. This morning I paid $565, something like that. And then then in another 2 weeks I paid until I'm just gonna pay on my own until they start taking it out.
Okay, so do you make enough to take $1,500 out a month?
I mean, I do, but at the same time, like I think it's a ridiculous number because she has gotten a new job. She's now an assistant principal.
Okay.
Forest County School. So
okay, well, hold on one
that hasn't
second.
been reported or adjusted either.
Hold on. I'm just looking at the previous cases. Looks like you were able to get back on track. In this case, you've been paying again. You missed the January payment, and you've been paying $500 a month. Have you petitioned to get a reduction, or I mean, you can't just pay $500.
Yeah, he's not eligible yet. Just sent him a chat.
Yeah, they're saying 3 years old. Like, my case has to be 3 years old. Like,
well, through child support, if you could afford to hire an attorney, they could file it sooner. But I'm not sure, when was this child support order issued?
3/22/23.
All right. Okay. And that was through a divorce proceeding, I take it?
Something private. I wasn't sure.
Okay. All right.
Which in proceedings, like Judge Gray.
I see you, Ms. Parks. I'll be with you in just a moment. Okay. Give me 1 moment.
Judge Gray Adams gave me a ridiculous arrearage, but like I'm trying to catch up. And I was adhering to it, like they was deducting it from my check, like from my previous 2 employers. So,
all right. So you're currently employed, and it can come directly out of your paycheck again?
No, I've been like the last 2 payments I made on my own. The last 2 or 3 payments I made on my own.
My question is where you're currently employed, are they able to execute an income deduction order?
I have no idea. I have no idea about human resources.
Well, how do you get paid with taxes taken out?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
because this is the same problem that I had like when we had the first child support hearing, like with Greg Adams during the divorce proceedings.
Judge Adams.
December 21. Judge Adams, I'm sorry. In December 21. Like it failed the income deduction order failed to come out, and I was paying on my own.
Okay, so you're supposed to be paying. I mean, to me, this needs to be back before Judge Adams as a contempt proceeding. But give me a moment, Mr. Parks. Hold on 1 second. All right, Ms. Parks, you can unmute. I mean, this really needs to be before Judge Adams, because if he's paying what he says he can pay, we can try an income deduction order again. You were with me a year ago on this case, and so have you filed a contempt with Judge Adams to see if what Judge Adams is going to decide, since he ordered him to pay that much money?
So, Your Honor, the only reason why I keep bringing it back to child abandonment is because of the extensive nature of my ex-husband's refusal to pay. It got to this point where it's been increased to this point after there was another court order that was less. He not only showed and proved he had the money, I have countless proof that he chooses not to pay it. And that's why I keep doing the child abandonment, strictly because it's almost become like a game. The amount that he pays here and there, right before Christmas, I told him I was going to do another child abandonment warrant. That's why he made the little $490 payment. I do have our 2 children completely by myself full time. He chose to skip January, not because he wasn't working. He does make an excessive amount of money. He even bragged to me about how he makes more money than me in that same month. I have all the messages. I am doing the contempt order as well to take it back in front of Judge Adams, because to be very fair, Judge Jason, when we initially separated, I asked him, we even did a separation agreement, and I asked him to give me $1,000 a month for the kids, which he agreed to. For an entire year, he refused to pay anything. And I had all the records of my financial records showing what he had been paying me through Zelle occasionally. And so that's why it got to a point where we had to go the child support route.
Okay.
So we were on
Let me ask you, where is your ex-husband? What career field is he in? And what do you know that he gets paid annually? I'm sorry?
He's a paramedic. At the time, his tax statements said he made somewhere around like $89,000, I believe. And he was making quite a bit more than me.
All right. Okay, give me one moment, please. All right, so Mr. Parks, there's 2 sides to every story. It looks like since November, you've been paying $500, and she's saying you have the ability to pay more and that you're choosing not to. That does become a crime. You can't wait for the income deduction order to come out when you have the ability to pay it. So why aren't you just paying at least $500 twice a month?
Judge Jason, everything that my ex-wife just told you is untrue. With the initial separation, when she asked me for $1,000 a month, I was giving her $1,600 a month. She doesn't have any financial record that rebut.
Well, let's not go back. Let's move forward.
I mean, I'm moving forward. Like I said, I'm trying. Okay. So initially, before all this child abandonment stuff took place, you know what I'm saying? It was a situation where she tried to get my job. She tried to have me fired from my job.
Well, hold on.
The same job that she
Mr. Parks, hold on. I'm not going to let either one of you get into anything disparaging. I just want to focus on the future. How are you going to go forward? So I'm going to ask you, how are we going to go forward with you being consistent on paying? Because substantial compliance isn't 1/3. So you're going to have to step it up, or I can issue a warrant because you're not.
I will step it up, Judge Jason. I will step it up in a major way on my next pay period.
Okay, but what you have to understand is tell us, Buso. What you have to understand is that it's very important that you make consistent payments, meaning if you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to pay $500, well, technically you're supposed to pay $75 twice a month, okay? So if you say, well, I'm going to $750, twice a month to kind of comply with your child support. So if you substantially comply with the requirement to put forth effort to pay $750 twice a month, then I can't issue a warrant. And so if that's what it needs to ignite you to say, okay, let me go ahead and start working on getting the child support more consistent, but you have to have consistent payments. And you know that. I went through this with you last year and you did well. You got an income deduction order that's coming out. That means, that you have the ability to pay, but you're not paying. So I look at you substantially complying. So every pay period until it comes out of, since we can't take it out of your paycheck, I'll let Ms. Carson see. It sounds like you got a good business going on your own, or I don't know if you work for someone, but you've got to pay closer to what your child support amount is. She's already going to file a contempt. Judge Adams already gave you a big order. You don't want that to have to happen again. So my recommendation is voluntarily get on track. Either you work it out yourself or Judge Adams will. And Judge Adams would have the option of saying, well, you're past due $17,000. I'm going to hold you in custody. If you don't pay, $10,000 within the next 6 months, then he could just put you in jail and you'd stay in jail. Now that's him. I'm trying not to do it if you can comply better by paying closer to what you're supposed to be paying twice a month. Break it into 2 and pay it twice a month. Don't go pay one. Listen, if you pay one huge payment, you are paying it toward the arrears. I'm not encouraging you not to do that. But if you do that, you need to go forward with making sure that you have enough money to make 2 payments of $750 twice a month for the next few months, because that's what I look at for criminal purposes. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So basically, Judge, that you telling me to work myself to death. Okay, no problem. I will.
What I'm asking you to do, Mr. Parks, is you guys are married, you had 2 kids together, she needs a support. It's both of your incomes are taken into consideration. I don't know, if you're making the same amount of money as you were, but I look at you doing substantially complying the best that you can.
Judge, I just sent
I'll figure it out.
Judge, I just sent you some information in a chat you might want to.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so what it looks like, not per month, per quarter, you're saying.
No, I averaged it out.
Okay, all right. So it looks like we're able to look at your income and you are not receiving the same amount of income that you received before. Then you do have but I can't reduce it, but I could take that into consideration and let me put that in. But that is true. Unfortunately, it's my hands are tied because if Judge Adams found that you can make that much money, and if you're not making that much money anymore, you still have to just do your best you can to substantially comply with that, with trying to pay the best you can every 2 weeks. And she can file a contempt with Judge Adams, but I generally will not issue a warrant if you're paying the best that you can every 2 weeks. Like right now, you're paying $500. Generally, if you could get it up to where you're paying, all I can say is closer to $750 every 2 weeks, whatever you're able to do on that, then I would not be issuing a warrant if you're in a different income bracket. Now, if you do still make that much money, or you have to work harder or get more hours, if you can, then you need to do it, because all that's going to have to be presented to Judge Adams, which is where this really should be handled. So let me put this here. Sorry, 1 second.
But Judge Jason, if I may, like when that order was handed down to me, that he knew that I wasn't making that same amount of money at the time he sent that order down. And he basically said that he's going to do that because I should have paid X amount of dollars at the time. When I showed proof that I was paying a substantial amount of money, like at the time. So, I mean, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm not gonna cry about it.
Hold on a second. I wasn't clear, Mr. Parks. Can we do an income deduction order? Because if I can do an income deduction, hold on, Ms. Parks, I'll hear from you. If I could do an income deduction order, then whatever they take out legally, I can't issue a warrant. So because the federal
Guess what? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, well, we're gonna hold on. Let me hear from Mom. Okay, Ms. Parks, you can unmute any information that you need to add, only with regard to any additional income.
Absolutely. Okay, so Your Honor, the reason why I haven't gone the contempt route is because no portion of this do I want to see my ex-husband, as the father of my 2 children, getting further arrested or getting major consequences. I just simply need assistance with our kids. At this point, it keeps escalating because he keeps refusing. I have an income deduction order that was already in place. His job that he's currently with, I think it's AMR. He told me just maybe a couple weeks ago, he has AMR and also a part-time job. So he also never gets the kids. So I feel like, and that's what the judge told him, he doesn't even do standard parenting time. He has all his time to himself. All I'm asking is just at least help. Like, to not help at all is just kind of getting ridiculous. The income deduction order was court ordered already because after the first year, he wouldn't pay anything. And then that's when judge went up and he used all of his tax returns for the last 7 years and averaged them out. So I know all that stuff. I have it on transcripts. I literally got all of it from every court.
Well, that's why I think you should try to get
time with.
Yeah, I would try. I mean, it sounds like Judge Adams was not very happy with you, Mr. Parks, and I don't think you want to go before him. So if you can do what you can to try to bring your child support up so that you don't have to deal with the contempt, at least get closer to where you were, then that's all I can hope for, because it doesn't sound like that's going to be a good idea to go back before Judge Adams. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you. I'm expecting you to pay $750 every other week, 2 payments a month to the best of your ability. But I'm also going to put you in a breakout room with Ms. Carson, so that they can, so she can see if she can get the income deduction order started. So Ms. Parks, give me 1 moment, please.
I've already done that, Your Honor.
Oh, you've done that already. Okay, so we have the information. Once you see it coming out of your paycheck, if you have a part-time job, you can just supplement the payment.
Jason, I never told this woman none of that. So I mean, it's fine. Whatever I need to do to get
Okay,
it.
no,
get it
no,
together,
do not unmute yourself without the express. No, we're not going to do that. She's not this woman. She is the mother of your children and your ex-wife. So clearly, I can tell you guys don't have a healthy relationship.
Nah.
That's why you're divorced. Okay, we're going to mute it. It's sad that the children have to, that you can step up, Mr. Parks, and be there for your kids, and then you guys can work this out, hopefully over time, this healing chapter. Nope, not going to get into it. So we'll see you guys on May 24th. We'll submit the income deduction order. I'm making in my notes, my effort is for you to pay as close as you can, substantially comply with $750 every 2 weeks to support your children. Okay, thank you guys, and we'll see you May 24th. Your case is reset. All right, you have Jacayla, who is close to 10 years old, with Mr. Russell. You have not received any payments since 2023. I'm not able to open the application. I'm so sorry. It's because my Adobe has nothing to do with the upload. Ms. Starks, could you see if you guys can send me her application, please? So, we
Yes,
have,
Judge.
okay, Miss Daniel, when is the last time that you've had any contact with Mr. Russell? You can unmute for me, please.
In January.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I mean, like, are you guys kind of have some type of connection where you can speak to each other respectfully, or? The reason I'm asking is because
No.
we don't have any response to the phone call, I believe is what my clerk put, and I don't have anything about that address. I'm trying to get your application. It said, send applicant an email, okay, hearing reminder. And she said she left a message, but there's no information. This is your first time filing, but I do see he hasn't paid in 6 months. Do you have any information about him, where he's working, what he's doing? Because we need him to come to court.
I don't think he's gonna come. When I asked him if he would be able to give anything for Jacayla in January, he said, suck my blank. He wasn't giving nothing. Go file a warrant.
Okay. Okay, so hold on a second.
You spoke to him maybe a week ago.
Who did?
Jacayla, my daughter.
Okay. And so how do you know that the address that you gave us on file is the address where he actually lives?
Oh, they just moved there maybe the middle of last year, and he gave me that address to do her passport, update her passport.
Okay. And who's they when you say they live there?
Him and his mom.
They say he lives with his mom. And the number that you gave us, is that the last known number that you have?
Yeah, that's his number.
Okay, all right. Okay, give me one moment to get the application. Okay, we'll be in a brief recess. You can go off video just for a moment. I just want to make sure. So I generally have to reset and try to have my clerk reach him one more time before I issue a warrant because he's on probation. Do you know if he's working right now?
He works.
He works. Okay. So do you know where he works?
He works at a hotel, but I don't know which one.
Miss Carson, do you guys show any?
I'm going to look it up, and I've just sent her a chat to send me that new address because we have an old one apparently, but I'm going to see if I can find a job for him right now.
Okay. All right. We'll be in a brief recess.
Is the address. It's not a new one. The one that I submitted on the application, that's the current address.
Yeah, but I just don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Carson,
Yes.
I have attempted calling that first number quite a few times, and I keep getting a voicemail. No one responds to that one. I'm going to try this other number.
Okay.
And that is the same address that I have.
That's his number. My daughter, she just called him like last week. That's his number. He's probably not going to answer though. That's the thing.
Miss Starks just leave a message saying that Judge Jason would prefer that you come to court in lieu of issuing a warrant. As per the judge, we're going to reset the case and try to get him to come to court.
Okay.
All right, to give you a call back. But thank you. All right, so where are we? We're going to reset the case, see what's going on. Give me 1 second. I did see the application. Actually, we're going to reset this case to next month. Not going to make you wait that long. So let's just try to see if we can get him in court. If not, I'll move forward with whatever I need to do. So usually when they come to court, even though they're not the most pleasant person to deal with, even if they're not, when they come to court, sometimes they actually become a little bit more cooperative. So let's go ahead and reset this one next month instead of May. Ms. Starks, let's go ahead and put it. Let me put my notes in here. Hold on a second. All right, so what we'll do is reset the case to April. Today's May 8th. Try to get a notice for dad to come to court. Let's put it on April 12th. We'll see you then. We'll give it one more time since it's your first time appearing before me. So we'll reset it to April 12th and we'll see you then, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge Jason, I did leave a message for him.
Okay, great. Hold on 1 second. All right, I think that can, am I missing anybody else or is that everybody? Think we've handled all the cases?
That's everybody.
Okay, do you have any questions for either of us, Ms. Carson?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, all right, Ms. Starks, if you need me, let me know.
Yes, I will. Thank you, ladies.